Yeah.
maybe really headbutt, and yeah, it was my fault. Yeah, I know that, and I said Dan Hooker is a man. Maybe it was a different guy. He could say I hurt my head. I couldn't fight it.
Okay, so here's what went down. This guy steps up and says, yeah, I did it. My bad about that foul. Now, when someone says my bad, that sounds like they're owning up to it completely, right? But dig deeper, because this isn't really about someone making a mistake. The real story is about the other fighter, the one who took that hit and could have easily said, forget this, I'm done. My head's ringing. Instead, this guy dug his heels in, got back up, and kept going for another full round. That right there is what separates people. One creates the problem, sure, but the other doesn't just deal with it. They power through with pure determination. Skip the apology part. This is about having unbreakable mental strength. Makes you wonder what you're really made of, when quitting would be the easy choice, and it's right there waiting for you to take it.
I think the because of Paramount, maybe Paramount said we need the Paddy Pimblett versus.
What do you make of this fight? Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje.
So people are calling Justin Gaethje petty at this face-off. But wait, because you need to get something straight here. When someone labels an elite fighter as petty, that's not an insult in the fight world, that's premium fuel for their fire. Look at it this way. In these high-stakes, brutal encounters and cutthroat business dealings we witness, the fighters getting called petty are usually the only ones truly ready to do whatever it takes to come out on top, regardless of how it looks or what people think. This isn't some character defect. This is what separates winners from everyone else. You need to understand this difference. So you're really gonna keep calling it petty, or are you starting to see the calculated method behind all that fire? You're talking directly to Gaethje with this, aren't you? You really think Gaethje isn't skilled?
He's just tough, but not technical. He's wild, but you know, Gaethje, he's.
You hear petty and instantly think he's just tough, but not technical, and you're buying into that story completely. Just stop right there. This isn't some gentleman's chess match happening in silence. This is a cage fight, pure and brutal. Yes, Gaethje definitely has technique. He's incredibly skilled without question. But what happens when textbook precision meets someone who's basically a human tornado with nothing to lose? That wildness, that chaotic energy you see in how he fights, that's not something that needs fixing. That's his most lethal advantage. It's how unpredictable he is with his movement, his strikes, his whole approach that completely destroys every carefully planned strategy opponents walk in with. You can prepare for standard technique, for expected sequences, but how do you game plan against pure focused rage, against someone who is chaos personified? Gaethje isn't just fighting the person in front of him, he's fighting their mindset, their will, and that's a much more dangerous opponent to face.
He has a lot of experience. See, he beats 2 times Fiziev. How?
First striking too.
Yeah, first round he gives a lot of like kicks, and no, he let kick him. He let like do a lot of things on him. But the second.
Yeah, and then he just starts to like
step it up another level. He's just gonna work it out, right?
And the same is gonna be here, I think, and I believe like Justin Gaethje gonna beat him by KO or by.
He's gonna work it out by the second round. That's what they're saying. That's the most worn out, dangerous assumption you can make, isn't it? This analyst sees a veteran playing the long game, being patient and waiting for their opening. But what if? Just consider this. What if their opponent isn't giving the fighter space to get comfortable? What if they've already cracked the code on that so-called experience and they're setting a trap? This isn't some computer game where you automatically get better after a slow first round. Do you really think the veteran hasn't broken down every single one of their opponent's first round struggles? Their famous second round comeback pattern, the entire blueprint. Thinking that experience always wins is a comforting myth that will get you dropped hard. If you believe that myth, you're completely missing the actual battle that's about to happen, the real strategic warfare going on.
Look better than he did when he fought Michael Chandler. He was able to take him down. He was able to control him. His ground game is pretty good. He's saying he can finish his fight in less than 3 rounds. He thinks he's just better. What do you think he's just talking, or like what do you make of that?
We never see him as a good fighter. So if he could beat Charles Oliveira, if he could beat me, and then of course we can.
Better than
the fight against Chandler. Hold on, let's ask the tough question everyone's avoiding here. The one that makes people uncomfortable. The real issue isn't just has he gotten better, it's has Michael Chandler actually declined since that fight happened. That's the crucial perspective nobody wants to touch, and it flips everything upside down. Now suddenly we're hearing his ground game is solid after all this time. After countless fights, all these years, this might not be real growth. This could be brilliant mind game. A story built specifically to make you believe the hype, to distract you from what's really going on. Don't get fooled. You have to dig deeper. Look past the surface. What do you actually see when you really examine that earlier version, the one who faced Chandler? What was he truly like back then?
Bull.
You don't think Chandler's very good? I love
Chandler.
talking to you. You go crazy.
Chandler, bull. Bobby Green, bull.
King Green.
King Green, bull.
He
No,
beat
no,
Tony
same.
Ferguson too.
Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson, he was on his he wasn't on his prime, you know, he was losing 8-10 fights. But if Tony Ferguson was like 5-6 years ago, he could like smash him.
Prime Tony Ferguson destroying everyone. Of course, we all desperately want to hold on to that memory, don't we? We want to believe that Tony from 5 or 6 years back would still tear through today's division like some untouchable force slipping through attacks and submissions. But let's get brutally real for a second. That's not just fond memories of a legend. That's a dangerous delusion. You're completely disrespecting today's absolute killers. The elite ruthless fighters who run this division right now. If you think Prime Ferguson would just walk through them. Are we too scared to accept that this sport evolves like everything else? Or are you just terrified to let go of your favorite fighters and accept what the fight game actually looks like now? Time to open your eyes and see things as they really are, not how you want them to be.
It would seem as though he would be the guy that you would want to win because he seems to want to fight you. He seems to want to fight you, though.
He's the same bullshit guy like a Tapuria. Tapuria wanted to fight me too, but not anymore.
You think that if Paddy wins, he wouldn't fight you?
Never.
He said he's never been offered a fight against you. That's why you guys haven't fought yet. I gotta ask you, Arman. This is just me doing my job, man.
Yeah, but like, UFC not gonna let him to fight with me. They gonna lose his.
Wait though, he just revealed something, didn't he? He just showed us the real uncomfortable reason why exciting fights don't always get made in this business. When someone claims they'll fight anyone, that's excellent marketing. Great for interviews, but it's usually nowhere close to reality. The harsh truth they don't want you to face is that the organization is often deliberately protecting their cash cow, their valuable asset, from a real dangerous challenger. They're safeguarding their investment, nothing more, nothing less. And that's the massive contradiction you have to face if you actually care about this sport being legitimate. If they keep preventing these important fan favorite fights just to keep their stars from losing, then what exactly are we watching here? Is this a real competitive sport based on talent and earning your spot? Or is it a carefully managed entertainment product designed to protect investments? You decide, is that a real champion or just a carefully protected commodity kept safe from real tests?
I have no idea. This week, everybody is talking more about me than about the Paddy Pimblett versus Gage. Like, even like I see a couple clips. I didn't see all press conference from yesterday.
Wait, he's saying everyone's talking more about me than the actual fight between these two guys. You catch that? That's not some random comment to fill dead air. That's a deliberate power move. That's strategic narrative hijacking to pull all attention onto himself and away from what actually matters. He wants you focused on him, on his drama, his presence, not on the real conflict between the actual fighters, not on what's genuinely at stake in that matchup. And guess what? It's totally working. We fall for this every single time without thinking. While you're busy discussing the personalities, the circus, the real battles, the important conversations, the actual significance of this fight, all of that gets completely buried. Are we really this easy to manipulate, or do we just prefer the flashy distraction over dealing with the sport's real issues? He mentioned hearing multiple questions about himself during what should have been about the fight.
Yeah, so, but, you know, can imagine if I was fighting this weekend, what it could be for Paramount and for the UFC. I think it could be big. Me versus Paddy.
So my question to you is this, right? You're confident that you I think you might be favored to beat almost everybody in the world. You and Topuria are like super close
Yeah.
in terms of the betting odds. Everybody else, you guys kind of wipe away.
Pete Connor versus this guy. Let's get completely honest here. Because the only thing peak about that potential fight right now is the pure desperation. The UFC desperately needs you to think that Conor McGregor still dominates everyone in this division, that he's still that unstoppable machine from years past. But are we actually falling for this manufactured excitement? Or is it just wishful thinking from a brand desperately needing its biggest moneymaker to stay important? Think logically here. The guy hasn't won a fight in forever. His last win feels like ancient history, yet we're still discussing him as favored against almost everyone else. This isn't about real skill or current ability anymore. This is about the machine trying to revive a dying legend, to pump artificial life into a story that's already over. You fans have to choose here. Are you watching for a real competition between elite athletes, or are you just going to accept whatever narrative they decide to sell you?
Charles, not. Yeah, it's because we are in our prime and we can box, we can wrestle, and we never see the Paddy how he looks like with good fighters.
But you just said Topuria's bullshit guy too.
No, bullshit guy. He's avoiding me.
Yeah, you said
but
he
like
would
a
avoid you, wouldn't
but
fight
like
you.
a fighter, he's good fighter.
Right, so you said Topuria won't fight you.
Yeah.
You said you don't think Paddy will fight you.
Yeah, because I'm bad style. Yeah, because I know how to wrestle. If I was a good striker, he for sure he could take me. You know.
So, if that's true, then you hear what he's saying. He calls it a bad matchup. He's not claiming the opponent is afraid, not in the obvious way. He's saying the opponent is calculating. This isn't about one single avoided fight. This is the ugly truth that runs through all of combat sports. Everyone acts surprised when a top guy obviously avoids a grappler, a style that makes them look bad, a fighter who makes them appear weak. But are you really shocked when it keeps happening? This isn't simple fear, it's cold business math. Fighters, especially elite ones, are huge investments, and nobody wants their golden boy tied up with someone who makes them look sloppy and human, even if that grappler might be ranked lower on paper. What does this reality say about how legitimate the rankings actually are? And what are we as paying fans really getting for our money when this happens? Really think about that. How exactly are you getting that title shot?
I have no idea. So hopefully Gage wins and
Gage
Topuria.
would fight you.
Gage fight me, yeah. Gage wins. Topuria go up to 175 with Islam. I'll fight with Gage for the interim title, and then Gage Topuria is coming back, and I beat Topuria and get the title.
Yeah, that would be a fun fight.
Yeah, let's cut through the fantasy because this isn't how you actually earn a real title shot in this game. This whole complicated situation he's describing. He fights me, then this guy moves up, then he beats that guy. What is this exactly? It sounds way less like a real earned path to championship gold and way more like wishful thinking. Like hoping the UFC gods will just hand you what you want. You have to grasp this truth. The UFC doesn't run on hopes and dreams, on waiting for other people to clear your road for you. You want that belt, you want that undisputed championship, then you don't sit around hoping others will create opportunities. You force it, you make yourself impossible to ignore, the only logical choice for contender status. Anything else is just talk, just background noise, and what about showing respect while fighting?
Sure, for sure. Yeah, Topuria, he has a good power on the hands, like good boxing, good prep.
Respecting this guy's fighting, he claims, hang on, you don't respect someone who uses fear as a weapon, not in the normal way of respecting their skills. What people actually mean, what they're really saying, is they're completely terrified of that one shot, that devastating knockout power that can end everything and flip a fight instantly. It's less about technical skill sometimes, and more about that deep fear that a fighter like this creates. And talking about good boxing and good pressure, please, in a world where that kind of crushing power exists. Good often gets you knocked out cold. Are we really discussing precise technical boxing to handle that pure chaos? Or are we just hoping that pressure doesn't walk someone straight into the biggest equalizer in fighting? Tell me honestly, is Good really enough against that kind of power? Because he's saying he's skilled.
Do you think that the winner this weekend fights Topuria? So are you going to fight again? Will you fight again in the meantime?
No, I don't see anybody who I can fight. So if Holloway beats Oliveira, I can fight Holloway, but
Hold up.
I don't see anyone I can't handle. Really? Let's break that down, because that's not real confidence talking. That's strategic cherry picking disguised as courage. He's not actually saying he couldn't physically fight them, that he lacks ability. He's carefully suggesting he won't fight them unless everything lines up perfectly for his hand-picked matchups. Getting every possible advantage, it definitely smells fishy. He's eyeing these big names, established stars, the most profitable options. But what about the rest of the division's dangerous fighters? The hungry up-and-comers grinding their way up? Are we supposed to think nobody else in that loaded division deserves his attention while he conveniently picks opponents for maximum profit and minimum danger? Fans deserve a champion who takes on everyone, not just someone who plays chess with their career.
no, UFC need that or not, because it's easy money for me. But they can give me that fight. Yeah, even for BMF is good too, to get BMF and then get the.
If you get the BMF title, now you're holding that belt. That might think, oh well, he's BMF champion. Let's do the BMF champion.
Yeah, and I want to be like an active champion and defend BMF, defend the real belt, because I got 5-6 years, to work.
There's tons of people who think, wait, 5 or 6 years later and you're still discussing defending that novelty title. Let's get painfully honest, because that belt, as entertaining as the show is pure theater. It's brilliant promotion, absolutely genius marketing, but it's not and never will be a legitimate championship in this sport's history. Every second, every bit of effort chasing that active fighter dream with a gimmick belt is valuable, irreplaceable time stolen from what actually defines greatness and creates lasting impact. When your career is running out of time, when you're approaching your final years, you don't chase glorified exhibition matches. No matter how exciting they look, you chase legacy, you chase real undisputed gold. This isn't about staying busy, it's about a career-defining decision. Is it about creating a legendary career that lasts forever, or is it about holding on to nostalgia and a belt that means nothing beyond one pay-per-view? What do you as a fan really want to see in a fighter's final crucial run?
It's because of the style that you present for Taporia and the rest of those guys. And I tell you, man, when I watch you fight, especially the way you fought against Dan Hooker, it's gonna be very difficult for these guys to keep you off of them. How do you fight the Arman Tsarukyan of today? If you were getting as an opponent, how do you fight the Arman Tsarukyan of today? Because I remember the Charles Oliveira fight, and it wasn't as close as people say it was. It was a good fight, but you seem pretty comfortable in that fight. But this Dan Hooker fight, you just dominated him, and it looked like you guys were on.
Look, everyone's going crazy over this guy right now, and that performance against Dan Hooker was absolutely devastating, completely one-sided. But what this analyst, and honestly most people, are missing is why he's suddenly become this terrifying presence in the lightweight division. It's not just raw power though, he definitely has that. It's his scary rapid improvement. He's absolutely not fighting the same way twice. That earlier fight, people dismiss it now, but if you watch carefully, it revealed a rapidly evolving fighter, still developing, still learning. Now what you're witnessing is a finished product, a complete destroyer. The version that demolished Dan Hooker is absolutely not the same person Islam faced in their previous fight, and I guarantee it won't be the same fighter who faces his next opponent. This isn't just dominance, this is frightening exponential growth. Do you really think anyone at lightweight has him figured out right now? He's constantly changing, always improving.